Hello.
Hello, YouTube, and happy last week of January. I can't believe it already went by that fast. I just got done with a super fun week with my mom and my best friend from middle and high school, and who is also my maid of honor for our wedding coming up. They were both here to help me find my dress, the dress, and we found it. I said yes to the dress. It was a lot of fun. I actually scheduled 4 appointments, 2 on Thursday last week and 2 on Friday, but I didn't end up going to all of them because I found it actually at the first place, but I didn't stay and get it at the first place. Because I'm way too anxious of a person to be like, wait, do I really just like do this now after looking at like 0 other places, you know? Turns out, yes, you can do that. So lesson learned, if you find it, don't worry. Don't go through, fear of missing out, because that's definitely what I did. And I got to the other places, and although like there were so many beautiful other dresses, they just weren't as me as the one that I found at the first place. Plus I started crying at the first place, like that should have been my indicator, but whatever. But yeah, I went back and got that one. So that was very exciting. We also, since I didn't even need, 2 full days, I called and canceled the remaining appointment that I had because I was just like, this is dumb. I already found it. I need to go back and do it. So we had a bunch of extra days, and we did do a little like bridesmaid shopping and things like that, but for the most part, we just kind of got to like explore and show them around. And for my birthday, my birthday was on Thursday, the day that I had the first 2 appointments. So I actually found my wedding dress on my birthday, which is kind of cool, like just kind of a cool like little way to remember it. Definitely a birthday I will never forget. Very emotional. But it was fun. And then we were done with appointments. We went to brunch beforehand, which was really good. And then we went straight from brunch to the first appointment, and where I found it. Then we went to the second appointment, which, also lasted quite a while, because they're about an hour and a half long appointments, but usually if you go over, they're like okay with that because they want you to like feel good about what you found. Then we went home and got John, and pretty much like got ready, kind of changed out of our dress shopping into something like more like going out, and we went out and got sushi for my birthday because y'all know I love sushi. And that was really good. They actually so they don't have cake at a sushi place, but instead they brought me a free roll and put a candle. You might have seen, if you follow me on Snapchat, it's the same name as my Instagram, but you may have seen that they brought out the roll and it had a candle stuck in the little, how they put like the little wasabi on the side, which I usually don't actually eat, so it's kind of perfect that they put a candle in it. But they put a candle in it and brought it out, and they sang and everything. So although it wasn't a cake, it was kind of like classic me, like having a candle in your sushi roll. Anyway, so that was really fun. Then we came back, and I think that night we just came back and like played like card games and stuff all night because we were kind of tired, like kind of worn out from the dress shopping. So we just came back and I think we just got like a bottle of wine or something and literally played cards for like 3 hours. Yeah, like I said, then on Friday I went to the third appointment I had set up. It didn't last very long at all because I quickly realized I needed to go back and get the other one. End of story. So yeah, and then the rest of the weekend we just kind of explored. So that was really fun. I did want to talk a little bit about the fact that while they were here, and I'm serious about this, I did not go to the gym one time. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. Did I go on Wednesday my mom got here on Wednesday. I think I might have done something on Wednesday, but for 4 full days, I did not go to the gym. And here's why. And you don't have to when, to each their own when you have people visiting you and you have guests, but, and I might have, I thought, I thought about it on Thursday, waking up and going before brunch and before the appointments and things like that. But here's why I didn't. So we had really full days. Like I said, some of them were actually like full of appointments. And if time would have allowed, I probably would have, because I enjoy working out. But never did I think of it as something that I needed to do in order to stay on track with any goals or anything like that. I'm not in prep to hit the stage. I'm already at a really, or not really, but healthily lean body fat percentage so that I can maintain that for work when when work comes up. I was well aware that I had a work opportunity that might come up like literally that day that they left, and I was monitoring, like progress and things like that. But the fact was, my composition really wasn't changing, other than, a little bit of like water fluctuation here and there from having more drinks than I usually do, things like that. So I really, if time didn't allow, or I thought it would be a push, or it would take away from, going to explore, do sightseeing, or show them around, I just didn't. I just said, it's not going to work today, or I could really use some more sleep. We went to bed at midnight last night, things like that. It just got to a point where I was like, this is not a priority this weekend, and that's okay. And sometimes that happens. Not all the time. Like I said, sometimes when I have guests or when I'm traveling, I will get in and do it. But especially if I have something coming up where I like need to prepare. But the whole point of my maintenance period right now is that I'm at a point where I just want to maintain my current state. And although, yes, I do want to get stronger, it could have been good to get in and get a lift in. Really, this didn't hurt me at all. And I think that's hard for people to understand, that a few days away from the gym, even when you're eating out, like as much as I was, probably like 75% of the time, maybe more. Yeah, maybe more, we ate out. It's not going to kill you, and it's not going to stunt your progress so much that you can't get back from it. It probably won't stunt it that much at all. And if you do see the number on the scale go up, I can almost guarantee you that it is water weight that you're holding versus actual fat gain, because it's pretty hard unless you're eating like 5,000 more calories than you usually do. I mean, it wouldn't have to be 5,000, but if you're really taking in more than you usually do, then maybe you could gain a noticeable amount of fat in 4 days. But for the most part, if you're just like eating out and eating differently than you usually do versus like a ton more, it's probably water. Your body will flush it out in a few days. For example, I was up, I think it was 1.5 to 2, depending on which day I measured from, before they got there. I think Wednesday versus Thursday was a different number. But anyway, I was up, let's just say 2 pounds of water weight. And by today, which is a full day after they left, because I dropped Keegan off at the airport yesterday, it was gone. Like, all the way gone. I was back to exactly the same number as before. And all I did yesterday was increase my water a little bit, eat more normally like I usually do, eat at home versus eating out, and that's it. There isn't a huge thing to do to get back from it. So I guess all I'm saying is, please don't be afraid to make memories instead of be obsessed with getting to the gym. Now, if you really have time for it and it really makes you happy, and you really just feel like it would make the whole experience better, it would make you less anxious, things like that, that's one thing. And if you actually have the time versus cutting into time with family or friends. But if it's making you more anxious to try and go and squeeze that in, that's not worth your mental health. And like I said, your physical health is more than likely not going to suffer from, 3 to 4 days, just kind of taking a break. Also, I knew, because we were downtown in the city, we would go and park and then walk the rest of the time. You just walk around. So I was getting more walking, like daily walking in versus just like, walking on a treadmill or something. I was getting a lot of daily walking in that I don't always, but I'm just talking about like physical activity, daily physical activity, walking to work, walking up 5 flights of stairs to get back to your car in a parking ramp, that sort of a thing. I was doing that a lot over the 3 to 4 days. So something that I do when I'm eating out this much is to kind of think ahead to how many meals that day we're going to be eating out versus the next day versus the next day. I do plan a little bit, not like, and I will say that I did not once log into MyFitnessPal while they were here. Not everyone can do that or feels comfortable doing that, and that's totally fine. If you want to track, totally up to you. I just didn't because I ate intuitively and generally knew what I was eating meal to meal. But I did kind of plan in the sense that I would look at, for example, on Thursday, I knew that we were going to eat brunch, and then I knew that we were going to have a dinner out for my birthday. But during the middle of the day, we didn't have lunch really, because we ate brunch, I think it was like 11:30, something like that, before the 12:30 appointment. And then we ate dinner, and it was, I want to say we got there at 7:30. So usually I don't do that. Usually I don't spread meals out by, 7-8 hours and only eat 2 to 3 times a day. But because I was doing that, I knew, okay, if you go to this dinner and you have 3 sushi rolls, for example, you're hungry, so no wonder you're eating, more than you might usually in a general meal. And you had brunch, and it was a pretty healthy brunch, 8 hours ago. So don't track this. Don't worry about things. You can kind of see that it averages out over the course of your day. People worry when they eat out that they're eating more. Which is understandable because, you don't control your portions when you're at a restaurant generally. But remember, for example, in my case, sometimes when I eat like 4 to 5 times a day, that when I do eat out or when I'm with family and things like that, the number might get cut down. So I might be eating 2 to 3 times, 1 or 2 of those days versus my 4 to 5 times, which is a big difference. So just remember that it's not like you're eating 5 of those huge meals. So there's no need to panic when you do have a larger meal. If you can remember, oh, but that's right, but I haven't been eating 5 times a day, so it kind of is averaging out. That's not to say when you go out and eat out that the portions, aren't too big generally. But I'm just saying it's not one more thing to panic about. Just think mindfully of it. Try and think of things like that. I've only had 2 meals today, whereas usually at this point I would have 4. So eating this, larger, dinner at this time of day is really not that big of a deal. Like, take a deep breath. Just kind of reassure yourself. I think people get too anxious about getting off of their schedule. So that's just something that I do to make it a little more, manageable when things are changing. Okay, so dress shopping for your wedding dress, it's a big deal, right? I mean, if all goes as planned, you only wear one once, unless you're doing, a vow renewal or something. But I have to say that as a fit woman with muscles, visible muscles, it was a little bit different. And everyone says, oh, it should be so easy for you, all this. And it's not that it was hard. Don't get me wrong. My problem was not finding one that I liked. It was finding one that I didn't like. Like, narrowing them down was kind of hard for me. Because everything was so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, how could you say no to one of these? You know what I mean? But when you go to touch your veil and you have a bicep, anyway, it was a little interesting, and I was a little bit nervous about it in that way. Turned out to be not that big of a deal. But I did want to share kind of a pro and a con that I found. So I'll start with the con. For someone like me especially, I get kind of trap dominant. I have to be really aware of it, like when I'm lifting, not to shrug, because I'm a shrugger. See, even right now, I'm like, God. And I'm just laughing because I was noticing that, like, they have like lights right above you, when you're trying them on and everything. And I was just like, holy cow. So when I was trying on, for example, strapless dresses, it's really noticeable, like really noticeable. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Muscles are beautiful, and I totally applaud all strong women who, have muscles, show them off, everything. But wedding dresses, sometimes it can be kind of a contrast because they're so delicate, and like, especially if you're wearing lace or something like that. I don't know. It was just, I was able to laugh at myself about it because I was like, I love having a strong body and everything, but like, dang, can I see my biceps in this dress? Maybe we should move on, kind of a thing. Because you do want to have, you want to have a balance of you know, being proud of the body that you've built, but also, you know, if you want to feel beautiful and delicate and bridal and everything, you know, on your, not delicate like weak, by the way. I hope you guys know that I just mean, you know, bridal and, you know, angelic and all those things that people want to feel. And it's not that hard, by the way, because it's one of the happiest days of your life. But, anyway, it was just kind of a funny thing. Like I said, I was able to laugh about it, but it was definitely more noticeable to me, I would say, than like my consultants and, you know, my mom and maid of honor. But I would say that the pro is that, dang, do you feel confident in things that accentuate like your waist and like your curves. Not everyone's dress is like that. Like, you know, people want like a ball gown or something versus, you know, more like a fitted. But I would say when you watch these shows of women trying to find their dresses and saying, oh, I can't wear this shape, I can't wear this shape, I don't feel comfortable in this. If you have kind of built your curves for yourself, it is pretty easy to get into any, you know, shape of a dress and be like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. So I gotta say thank you, fitness, because it's so much less stressful, and it just made me appreciate so much what fitness can do for everyone's confidence. You know, things that you might not have felt comfortable in before, you could try on, and it's like a really big day in a lot of people's lives. It's just, anyway, I just love fitness. I love spreading it to people. I love sharing it with people, and just, you know, it kind of brought a unique perspective to my dress experience, because like I said, it wasn't, you know, getting married isn't about being fit, but like, you know, dang, does it help your confidence. So another thing that was really interesting about like the sizes, bridal sizes are almost double. It kind of depends on the designer, but for me, for example, I had to order like a double, twice the size that I would usually wear in a dress. So like in a dress, I'd usually be a 2 or a 4, and sample sizes that they put you in are, I think, 10 or 12 bridal, which would maybe be like a 6 or an 8 in regular dresses. So if that's not your size, it's going to be too big or too small for you, depending. But they were a little bit too big for me. But that was, I mean, it was fine. They clip it in to make it look like what it would look like on you. So I was able to still tell. But I ordered, like I said, I'm usually a 2 or a 4 in regular clothes. And I had to order an 8. And here's the reason why. They do your measurements. They do, you know, bust, waist, hips, maybe something else, height. They need to know your height, see if you need extra length. Which I'm pretty tall, but I actually didn't need extra length, so that was good. But anyway, so they measure your waist and your hips, and depending on, you know, the different sizes at the different places on your body, those equate to a different bridal dress size. So for my waist, I was a bridal 4. For my bust, I was a bridal 6, and for my hips, I was a bridal 8, for example. So I was so many different sizes because of, you know, lifting and kind of building your own curves and everything. You know, I've built up my leg muscles, you know, glutes, for example. Essentially what you do is you order for the bigger parts of you, and then they take it in at the smaller parts of you. So I'll order an 8 in, and it'll still be too big in my waist, and then they'll take it in to be, you know, the larger size and then the smaller size. And anyway, so no worries there, but that was also kind of interesting. Interesting just to see what different size you are at different parts of your body. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. It was a great time. I like cannot wait. And I was not one of those girls who had their wedding planned like their entire life at all. And so everything to me is like brand new, like looking at flowers, looking at dresses. I had no idea what I wanted when I went in. You start to narrow it down, but like going in as someone who didn't have something really specific in mind, made it kind of fun because I got to kind of try everything on. I tried on like the big, you know, princess ball gowns and like the slinkier things and things that were completely beaded and things that were completely lace, and, you know, anyway, it was really fun. We went to some awesome places to eat. I mentioned the sushi on my birthday. That was great. We went to Bamboo Sushi, which is always good. We've been there once before. Well, for brunch on my birthday on Thursday, we went to Jam on Hawthorne. If you're in the PDX area, I would definitely recommend. It's so good. Friday, what did we do on Friday? I think we just ate breakfast at home. Then we went to lunch. Oh, we got Hawaiian food for lunch at one of John and I's favorite places. Then on Saturday, we went downtown and got Killer Burger, which is so good. So good. If you're in Portland, you need to go to Killer Burger for lunch, dinner, whatever. They just have like the best burgers. I actually ordered the one that's called the Killer Burger, like their classic one, but we all got a different one, so that was kind of interesting. My mom got like a mushroom covered one. Keegan got the peanut butter burger, which I've never tried. I should have probably tried it, but anyway, it always kind of like weirds me out because I love peanut butter and I love burgers, but like, you know, marrying the two. But she said that was really good, and John got something spicy. I don't know. On Sunday, so we took my mom back to the airport, and then Keegan and I went downtown and found a food truck, a grilled cheese food truck. It was really good, really good. Got a few different kinds. Then we did some sightseeing, which you may have seen on the snap as well. And we ended up doing for like dinner and, you know, the evening, we went to one of the breweries, because Portland has many breweries, and got like appetizer and, you know, like little beer flights. Keegan and John are more beer people than I am, but, you know, flights are perfect for me to like taste them and be like, no thanks, and kind of move on. That was perfect for me. And then from there we went to something called Punch Bowl Social. So those in Portland might know what this is, but it's essentially like a ton of games, a bar and a restaurant all together. So what I mean by games is like they have, I think it's like 8 to 10 bowling lanes, but it's not a bowling alley. So it's like up kind of on a, you know, in a back part, or not in a back part, but it's like raised up bowling lanes. And then across from the bowling is darts, which we played a bunch of. And they also have like foosball and ping pong and like actual like old school arcade games. There's like a whole like hallway of that. I'm sure I'm missing some, you know, but there are so many, and they have like multiple bars, a restaurant. So you can like kind of like get your food and drinks and like order it to your bowling lane. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of like the perfect way to cap it off, you know. And then we went home, crashed, and that was kind of the end of the weekend for us. It was a great time. We really miss our family and friends out here when we can't, you know, see them all the time, versus when we actually, you know, lived in Iowa where most of them are. But it makes it so much sweeter when you get to like make these memories, you know, with them. It was just a really good time. So my heart is full, and I just can't wait for the next time that we get to see more, you know, friends and family. And I think we have some coming out to visit us actually like relatively soon in the next couple months again. So that'll be fun. Something else to look forward to. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about, especially regarding like how I deal with food while I'm eating out, anything of that nature, I mean, shoot, if you want to ask me about wedding dress shopping, it was a great time. I'd love to tell you about it. But yeah, and make sure that you like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Thanks.